Hello, hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., alongside Scooter Dust.
Hey. Ooh, excuse me.
And it was a good, and Kaliko Yatsu will not be joining us this week. But it was a good week for Wrestling Wit as we interviewed Olivia Ville on Tuesday. Obviously, incredible individual. Has her whole career ahead of her as she has only been wrestling since September, I believe. And Christora from Wednesday, another incredible interview. Looking forward to seeing what both girls do in the future. This upcoming Monday, that's correct. We're bringing back the last Monday of every month. We'll have an interview, and this month is Celine Gray. Fantastic individual. We talk lots about the Marvel Universe, Greek mythology, Fortnite, and a ton of more. Then on Tuesday, we have Sexy Eddie, a pillar, honestly, of East Coast Canadian wrestling. He worked for CZW, back in the day when Zandig was running things. We talk about
part of the he was also part of the the New York, New Jersey scene.
Right.
As well. I worked with his father.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, not in a ring. His father was a camp counselor the same year I was a camp counselor, I believe.
Well,
all I know is his son is a blind guy with the name of Eddie.
Well,
so, who knows?
We talk Sexy Eddie. We talk about IW, the promotion he founded, having 1,000 matches, the 25th anniversary of that promotion. We also talk competing in South Africa, and it's just a wealth of stories and interesting anecdotes from the pro wrestling world. I cannot recommend it enough. And then May 1st, we have Psycho Boy Fodor, a part of NWA, I should say. NWA. He is a protege of EC3. We talk about that. Almost getting arrested with EC3. Kendo Sticks, Angelina Love, and a hell of a lot more. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips right now.
I think the craziest thing that actually really happened is Renee Van Peebles losing her hair in the middle of a match. So, I mean, I don't think anything's going to top that even for a very long time. I still have a video clip if anybody wants to watch that. Just go to my Instagram. It's on there. But, yeah, for a long time, that will not be topped.
Clusterfuck. After I'd finished my part in the clusterfuck, I was totally naked. I mean, I was just wearing boots, and I was holding my junk in my two hands. I get backstage, and Tracy Smothers just says to me, "Hey, did anybody see my partial?" He asked me. I said, "Look, I got my dick in my hands right now, but if I do find your partial, I will bring it to you." So that was one of the things that he said at the clusterfuck, which I thought was hilarious. You know, you're asking the guy who's totally naked if I saw his partial. So I'm like, and if I did see it, I hope I don't sit on it.
Billy came to me and was like, "I think you should just have the cane with you like all the time. That should just be your thing. Like you carry the cane and beat people with the cane." And I was like, "All right." I was like, "That sounds all right to me." And then how we ended up naming it the Psycho Stick was Joe Galley, the commentator, was hanging around, standing by us, and EC3 was kind of in and out of the conversation. And Joe Galley said, "What do you want to call the cane? You want to call it like a name or something?" And EC3 leaned over and said, "Call it the Psycho Stick." And I was, and Joe Galley was just like, "All right, Psycho Stick it is." And then they just started calling it the Psycho Stick on commentary, and it just, like, it worked and it fit and it sounded good. So it was just like, all right, well then I guess it's the Psycho Stick, So some things like in wrestling just kind of come out of like joking around and stuff. And that was definitely one of the things that kind of came out of joking around.
All right. And then on the 7th, we have T Gaines. On the 8th, we have Reed Matthews. On the 14th, we have Hottie. And on the 15th, we have Stanislaw von Debrongnik. So, yeah, already May is looking up for Wrestling With for sure. I think we're done putting ourselves over, right, Scooter?
I'd say so.
It was a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And before we talk about what the wrestling gods have given us this week, something that we should cherish for all of times, we do have to talk about some bad shit. The bad shit being, last week we covered, Jinder Mahal and Xia Li, with a couple of others got released from WWE. Well, there were more to follow. Most notably, Cameron Grimes and Von Wagner were fired from WWE.
Wait, who was the second name you just said?
Von Wagner.
Oh, oh God. Please don't ever do a German accent ever again. Von Wagner?
I work my finger at your...
I resemble... I know nothing!
Cameron Grimes and Wagner. Oh, what are your thoughts about them getting fired?
I mean, Vaughn was just coming off his best-selling game, God of War, Ragnarok.
That was fucking terrible. Boo!
Dead joke of the night.
Boo! Boo this man.
Oh, that's not the first time somebody's pulled out that meme on me. Out of all of those, Cameron is the most surprising one because he didn't even see it coming.
Right.
And it's not like he wasn't trying. They just never gave him anything.
Which kind of sucks because he was a chicken salad maker.
I mean, they didn't continue the rich hillbilly gimmick.
No. He really didn't have a gimmick because they wasn't really allowing him to talk. And Cameron Grimes' biggest...
The man with the voice.
Exactly. He's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, but you want to hear what Cameron Grimes has to say. He can cut a promo. And, when you don't allow him to speak, you're literally cutting the legs from underneath him.
Yeah. I'd even settle for him on commentary.
That would have been good shit.
I don't think Cameron Grimes, real name Trevor Lee, who was I think the last remaining WWE holdout of the Omega School, which was run by the Hardys.
I know Matt Hardy was there when he was born, so.
So best bet, Trevor Lee goes back to Impact. Cameron Grimes goes back to Impact. I have no doubts that Von Wagner will either get immediately picked up by AEW, or he's literally going to be the next NWA champion.
I think NWA might be a better fit for him, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Is there a chance Cameron Grimes goes to AEW rather than TNA?
See, Cameron is a smart guy. If he likely knows that if he goes to AEW, yes, it might be more money for potentially doing nothing.
But he wants to work.
Yeah, and he'd rather have the choices than essentially, again, getting paid to do nothing. I know everybody thinks that getting paid to do nothing is the best thing ever. But trust me, I've been doing it for too long. And I don't even get paid.
I was gonna say, when did I pay you?
I'm talking about my OnlyFans. God. Cameron will go wherever the Hardys go.
Well, we could. Should we get into it now? Matt Hardy made his return to TNA Impact as Broken Matt Hardy. Once again, I don't entirely know what he did. I know he interfered in a match, but yeah, this is a thing now. If I know that he didn't technically sign a contract with them. He only made an appearance. And as far as I know, it is because, I believe Nick Nemeth actually got injured, and he's taking his spot. So it's kind of a give and take situation.
But Nemeth's feud with Moose wrapped up.
Well, I mean, just because he's the feud wrapped up doesn't mean he stops wrestling. He has other commitments with the company.
I'm talking about if Matt is taking Nemeth's spot, why?
Because they needed somebody to replace Nick Nemeth because he got injured.
So in other words, Matt's gonna be doing nothing.
I guess so.
Oh, hey, Eric Young, if you're listening, I've got this idea. You can have it for free. Bring back Jeff. Sign Cameron. Matt is delete. Cameron is control. And Jeff is alt. You have a new stable right there. Control, alt, delete.
Well, there you have
You're
it.
welcome.
Is Eric Young in part of the creative team now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good for him, I suppose.
Ooh, God, you know what? On a completely, absolutely 100% related note, I gotta send congratulations to my much sexier and jacked up twin brother, Tony Nese, who just had his second child.
Oh, good on him. And we now can confirm he's had sex at least 2 times.
2 more times than I've had.
You'll get there, buddy. Keeping up with TNA, Mike Santana officially signed with the company. I wasn't aware that he wasn't signed, but now he's officially signed. So, good on him? Question mark.
I mean, yeah. The whole idea of signing someone is not to reveal it as something you finally got done after they made an appearance. You know, it's like you either announce it in advance or you literally announce it on the broadcast. Like that's just ridiculous. That's Impact trying to mimic what is hot in promoting talent, and they see since AEW does it, and to the point that WWE does it, but not as brazen as AEW. It's just it's ridiculous. They're just biting on it. I mean, with somebody like
What the hell?
crap, we got to turn that off. Crap. It's my phone. It's a ringtone for my girlfriend.
She lives in Canada.
She's currently in the hospital. I wish she's in the ER.
Well, that's pretty grim.
I mean, doing that with somebody like Mike Santana, it's you're making Mike Santana seem more important than he is right now.
I mean, it
if
seems like they
he's
didn't make him seem important at
if they're
all.
going to put him
He
in
was
the
there for a couple months, and now they just decide to sign him. It's like, let's see if this guy works out. Like he wasn't there for like 2-3 years prior to that.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll pair him with Carlos Cabrera. No, Hugo Sabinovich.
Arriba.
Would you stop? Since he is apparently, since he's now all elite for some odd reason, I don't know why I felt the need to connect to that.
It's I think we're giving TNA too much time here, if I'm being honest. They did stuff, good on them, but
it's time to get from TNA to DNA.
And we are talking about Becky Lynch winning the Women's Championship on Raw in a Battle Royal. It's been quite some time since we've seen a title change on Monday Night Raw, let alone in a Battle Royal.
Well, I mean, technically, it didn't change hands.
Oh, well, a champion crown.
I mean, it was, it was given up to that great superstar known as Vacant.
Yes. We all know Vacant is the best wrestler. Honestly, I didn't see it coming, and it was really refreshing, if I'm being honest. Get it done one night. Not, it don't have to be a whole, thing. Just get a new champion out there. We don't need a tournament to crown every fucking championship, or have a tournament every time a championship goes vacant. So, it was. Well, was this just a random episode of Raw? Yeah, but it's a little bit more memorable now because of what happened. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is it is. Did Becky really need the title reign?
But who else would have been able to take that belt?
Given what's been happening with her, Liv would have been the perfect person to get it onto, and Liv can brag about being the one who not only put Rhea out with the injury, but also didn't have to beat her to win her championship.
But don't you want it to be maybe more of an event if you're going to put the belt on Liv?
Then I wouldn't have put Liv as the final two with Becky.
Well, I think they're going the route of Liv needing a dragon to slay, per se, than just winning it in a random battle royal.
See, that's the thing here, is that almost by default now, the fans are starting to turn. The fans are starting to boo her.
Yes.
And since Rhea has, she's done this Stone Cold thing where she's been a complete entertaining bitch, and yet we still love her for it. While Liv does what a face should do, she's now, on that downhill slope. So I would have said, screw it, go the full heel. And just make Liv that, I don't want to say mean girl, but that mean girl who thinks, who's not being tough based on her size, is that she's being tough because she knows she can take it out on people.
I think Becky was only put in that position to literally get beaten by Liv, in my opinion. So, like you said, she's not technically a heel yet. She is still, a face.
Yeah. Well, and
so,
Becky and Liv are apparently now going to be the match at Backlash.
Right. So, what's the best way to get Liv over as a heel? Well, put her against the biggest babyface that they got. Another, unexpected thing, to say the least. What is his name? Ludwig Kaiserroll, he turned on Leonardo da Vinci on Raw, seemingly breaking up, Imperium.
Yvonne Wagner would have been a good fit there.
Well, I mean, his forehead's still under contract, so maybe that's I mean, what happens here? Because, I mean, Gunter doesn't need them. He's never really did. But, it's a cool presentation, the three of them, Imperium. But could we potentially see a new Imperium? I don't think Leonardo da Vinci is going to get over as a face, if that's the route they're trying to go.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be employed much longer either.
Do you think that was just work ethic, or he has been known to get injured a lot more often than the other two?
It's not work ethic per se. It's just they had put so much work into being the new gimmick separated from Imperium, and when Vince retired the first time, he gets put right back in Imperium. And since then, he's never really Vinci has never really looked like he's enjoyed himself since then.
You might not be wrong about that. I just thought that was his face. So we shall see what happens there. Dragunov might be coming in, and him being the third man, with Gunter and Kaiser Permanente, that might be something.
No, you're not gonna make Dragunov subservient, especially since he and Gunther had a match of the year in front of no audience,
which makes it easier for nobody to remember.
No, if you ask me, that makes it a hell of a lot easier to remember, because it's easier to when there's no fans, there's no noise. So yeah, Giovanni Vinci is most likely on his way out. He will probably end up in TNA.
Bring us your lost. Bring us your sick. Bring us your wounded. Or TNA. Talking about bringing stuff. London, England. There is somebody running for mayor, and I kid you not, this is not a work, this is not a rib. Sadie Khan.
What the hell? When did London get a mayor?
Yeah. Will bring, if they get reelected, mayor of, London, They want to bring WrestleMania, the Super Bowl, the NWO, the NBA, and the Olympics all to London. They do know that, we play football with our hands and not our feet. Right?
Well, all this, the NBA and Major League Baseball, they all do games in other countries the first weeks of the season. There has been an Olympics in London. I think there's been
2012.
Yeah. So that's believe me, London doesn't need another Olympics. Given how big it is, since London is the size of one U.S. state, and it's Vermont.
Well, we're not necessarily talking about, the Olympics here, but, the one thing, why we're talking about it is because they mentioned WrestleMania. We've been talking about WrestleMania being in the UK for quite some time now. And when this statement was made, Triple H did tweet out, "Let's talk." Only kind of reaffirming what we kind of expected.
Yeah, that London was definitely on the horizon, and that they actually wanted us to, they want us to guess a lot more for 41.
And I don't know why. This should have been already set in stone. But from what I'm hearing, WrestleMania 41 will be in Las Vegas May 4th and 5th. Will be the first WrestleMania in May.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what? Because it would be what? Hurricane season during they don't want to associate with Caesar's Palace anymore.
Well, I mean, well, like I said, it's going. Wait, it's just because it's being in Las Vegas doesn't mean it's going to be in Caesar Palace. It's going to be in.
No, I'm saying that's why they're doing it in May.
Why May?
So, because the previous WrestleMania in Las Vegas was in March.
But if they did it in April, what's the difference?
What are they putting in WrestleMania's place? Then why would they stretch out the Royal Rumble?
That's a good. Do we know where Royal Rumble's going to be next year?
Oh,
I don't think so. But it does. As like you said, Rumble is January. That's a long time to have a number one contender for WrestleMania. Not to mention that SummerSlam would only be like what, 2 months, 3 months away. It's a bit extreme, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and considering how many PLEs we're getting from in between Mania to SummerSlam, and they're all in another country.
Right.
So, that doesn't make logical sense unless they're planning on rearranging the entire, outlook of the WWE calendar.
You would have to do the Rumble in February at that point, right?
They'd think of some way to apparently still do it.
We shall see. Nothing's kind of... The only thing that was really confirmed was that it's going to be in Las Vegas. There hasn't been a date necessarily set in stone. So, we'll see what happens there. Oh, wait.
Well.
On, a different note entirely, James Drake and Zach Gibson are making their own wrestling promotion.
But they just showed up in... They showed up in Impact for a cup of coffee. Now they shot a promo for a cup of coffee, and now they're starting their own promotion? Jesus fucking Christ.
It's called Burning Heat Pro Wrestling. The first event
God.
will be June 21st in Liverpool. Big surprise it was going to take place in Liverpool. But first and foremost, I hate the name. Burning Heat. Like,
It sounds like an STD.
Oh, God, you stop it.
Ooh, STD Promotions. Venereal by design.
Like, I mean, like, how about instead of like burning heat, like we know heat burns, what about freezing heat or?
What about Jock Itch Pro Wrestling? What about We're Not FTR Pro Wrestling?
Oh, that might be something.
How about How the hell did I wake up in this bed Pro Wrestling? And why am I handcuffed to this chopped off arm Pro Wrestling /.com?
This doesn't really seem like a game changer. It just seems like a new independent that popped up on the radar. No?
See that's starting to be the signature for every released talent that seems to have an iota of talent. You know, AOP, we're going to do a promotion. Nope. Yeah, part of me wonders if they're just doing it to, because I don't know if this was announced before they announced they were all elite.
I could not tell you.
Oh God! I just think of that name and
But you know what?
it makes me not want to. Basically, it only means my penis is now for show.
But you know what? Son, you mentioned a great name for a promotion, Iota of Talent.
IoT. No. There was a wrestling game on the Super Famicom, the Japanese version of the Super Nintendo, called Gekitu Burning Pro Wrestling.
Okay, maybe they're a fan of the.
I mean, they might as well have just called it Fire Pro Wrestling.
There you go. That would have been easy.
But yeah, except that name is trademarked.
Oh. Well, it's a different country.
By the video game series Fire Pro Wrestling.
Well, I mean, it's a different country.
Who literally had a deal with New Japan. That's why Kenny Omega, the Bucks, and everybody from the start of AEW are in the game.
Right.
Even Naito guides you through your career.
Because that's what Naito does. It'll be interesting to see if something happens. I'm sure everybody's clamoring for a What Culture Pro and
No!
Burning Heat collaboration.
Oh my God! No! Why did you say that? Oh God!
And
Great.
here's why. My name is Simon Miller.
And this is WhatCulture.com. I'm blah 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 blah, and I'm from What Culture. Now, here's 10 useless reasons why I should no longer be a human.
Well,
I go back to thinking about that fucking asshole in a robe wearing the title, despite never having actually been in the ring. Adam fucking Blampy, the bastard.
I'm not
Dick
even
falls
gonna.
off.
I'm not even gonna ask.
You know what? I hope he gets the crotch rot. Crotch rot pro wrestling!
Oh, will you stop it?
I mean, it's either that or... Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wait for it.
We're waiting a really long time.
The Alliance of Independent Depressed Superstars. AIDS.
Isn't the League of Depressed Superstars just TNA?
No, it's Rampage and
Oh, okay.
Collision too.
Gotcha. Alright, that being said, speaking of Rampage and Collision, Goldberg, he did an interview, as you do, and they asked him if he would ever go to AEW. To his reply, no, he wouldn't, because they're just too cheesy. This is Goldberg's words, that AEW is too cheesy. Hypothetically speaking, what kind of cheese do you think AEW is?
Well, they're definitely not shredded.
They can't be American cheese.
I'd say they're a big, stinky Roquefort.
Have you ever had Lunchables?
Yeah, that's not cheese. I'm pretty sure that's not even food now.
No, the cheese that you get it, like, it seems like legit, like, cheese, and,
Yeah, like it was just cut off a block.
Yeah, something like that. But then, when,
Cheese
like,
product.
if you put it in, like, the refrigerator,
It grows mold.
it shrivels up like it was
Yeah.
never really food to begin with.
Yeah, because that piece of a processed cheese food product is about 95% water.
And now it contains lead as well.
Oh, yum. I can relive my childhood and freak out in my crib again.
So, AEW may be cheesy, or maybe it's not cheesy, or maybe you
Well,
have your own opinion on the matter.
well,
Not
it
you, but,
is.
the listeners.
Cheesy ain't easy.
That being said, Tony Storm did the media scrum after AEW Dynasty, and she mentioned Nikki Garcia, Nikki Bella. Her reply to Nikki was that she saw Mercedes and wanted to get into AEW, but when she saw Tony Storm, she realized that, and I quote, "Do not cancel me here. I'm repeating what she said. Nikki Bella can't hold a pussy-scented candle to what she does."
Oh, God. Oh, my God. You do know there are places that actually do make that.
Oh, God, really?
Yep. Basically, that's all of that's Gwyneth Paltrow's entire brand. That's what Goop is.
Oh my!
But vagina candles.
Well, we know what.
And I'm not talking about the shape. Like, it smells like fresh pussy in here. God, oh God, oh God, oh God. See, Tony Storm is easily the best thing on AEW right now.
She's arguably the best female wrestler out there right now.
Yeah, and the legit most entertaining. I watched a movie today that apparently somehow Mercedes made that in between New Japan and AEW, and she plays an assassin named Nikita, coming right up following Monday Night Raw. And as soon as I watched him, like, okay, there's Tyrese, there's Havoc from X-Men, who else? Oh, there's Don Johnson, and there's Mercedes. My
Was
God,
she the
that
lead?
no, she
Oh.
was the second female lead to Ruby Rose.
Oh, okay.
So
it was pretty low budget if Ruby Rose was in it.
Yeah, pretty much. Casca Reeves is the best she's ever gonna be on screen anywhere ever again. But oh God, I literally closed my eyes. Next time I opened them, credits.
So it was a good.
Meanwhile, no, it was awful. It was god awful.
No, I mean it was a good way to sleep.
Yes, yeah,
Like, it was
especially
a good
since especially since only slept for 2 hours to like put that on. But you know, you could give you give Tony Storm 2 sticks to bang together, and she'll make it work.
Hell yeah.
And honestly, I think she's trying to get as many female superstars to say obscene words for female parts as possible. You realize that she's daring Nikki to come back with her own, rated R comeback.
Well, I mean, nobody ever accused Nikki Bella of being a good promo, so I can't imagine where that would be cringe.
Like, where the most anything considered abrasive is the woman has said is, "I'm gonna break you, bitch." Like, okay. That did not sound cool at all. Oh my god. You know what Nikki needs to do? Nikki needs to come back at Tony as Tony.
No. That would be so...
Every female superstar needs to dress up like Tony.
You can't... That's gimmick infringement.
But it'll be so great for when Tony Storm has her downfall.
Oh, which will come, and it will be just as good as the Rise.
Well, technically, we've seen the fall.
Technically, yes, but I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, it got her to this point. It got her to what we see now.
Yeah, it evolved.
So the fall is the rise.
Right. So is the Rise the fall?
I don't know, but what I do know is we will do it chin up, tits out, and watch for the show.
Well, talking about pussy-scented candles, Tony Khan.
And his dad.
The end of AEW Dynamite last Wednesday. So Tony Khan coming out, reinstating Jack Perry as a member of the AEW roster, and then Jack Perry proceeded to punch Tony in the stomach. The Young Bucks and Okada came out to protect Tony Khan, only to continue the attack on Tony Khan, giving him a Meltzer driver.
It is now the Tony Khan driver.
That's right. They renamed it that, didn't they?
Yes, the TKD. This was so blatant and over the top that it might have gotten over just by the sheer unbelievableness of it. It might have gone backwards in time and gotten over, because this was apparently enough to bring Billionaire Khan Sr. Out.
Khan.
But I think I can sum this up perfectly. WWE is in a new era. Tony Khan is thinking AEW can enter some sort of attitude era of their own, with him, finally bringing, where he finally gets to, learn the hard way that he's not actually meant to be in the ring.
But Tony wants to play. Let Tony play.
No. All right, fine. He can go. He can go play in the sandbox, and he could eat all the Tootsie Rolls. Spoiler: they're not Tootsie Rolls.
What?
No, it turns out they're turds.
Did he get them from Mark Henry?
No, I just know I didn't put any Tootsie Rolls in there. I mean, this is Tony Khan trying to be the new Mr. McMahon. And as a face, nonetheless. That's not gonna fucking work.
No.
Like, you can't be the owner of the company and a face and on TV at the same time. There's a reason that doesn't work. I mean, apparently it was enough to get Kenny to show up next week.
Kenny's going to be on TV next week?
Dynamite. He's been advertised.
Really?
Yep. I guess it's got something to do with Forbidden Door, which is now at the UBS Arena instead of Arthur Ashe.
Because they can't fill it?
Okay.
So, you kind of gave your feelings about, this. I'm going to be completely honest, and I'm going to maybe surprise a lot of people. I actually thought this was fantastic shit. I absolutely thought this was so funny. This was entertaining. It was mildly cringe. It was one of the more interesting things they've done in a very long time. And I'll say this, I'll hand it to them. For the first time in like the 5 years that they've been active, they're trying. They're trying something here. Nothing fell into their lap. They're not. It didn't happen on accident. They're trying to do something. If it works, if it doesn't work, whatever. But at least they're trying to get people talking about them. Like, for the first time.
I mean, they could have placed more emphasis on the fact that they had their first African American world champion.
That doesn't matter.
That's the thing. You laugh, but we both know that's true.
I'm not going to shit on Tony Khan for, taking what he took, the way he took it, because
I will.
It's bad.
Yeah, but it kind of ended up being the most perfect Meltzer driver ever.
But like the fact that he got punched in the stomach and then he fell flat and then he was like, oh, I need to sell. Oh, my stomach hurts. And I don't know if you noticed, but like when he got him up for the Meltzer driver. Like Tony, he wrapped his legs around
Yeah.
Matt's head,
Yeah,
and it just looked so awkward for like a couple of seconds.
because you know what that indicates, that he didn't train to take that bump.
Right.
He was counting on the Bucks to not kill him.
And he's not a trained professional, but so I'm not going to shit on him for the way he took what he took. And if you do shit on him, just remember how Vince McMahon took the Stone Cold Stunner at WrestleMania 38. And then you compare the two, and you say what looked better.
See, there's two ways there's really two ways of selling. There's the Shawn Michaels school of selling. And then there's the Ric Flair school of selling, where, you either oversell or you dead sell or undersell everything.
There's a sale on aisle 2.
I mean, the whole taking 3 steps before taking the actual bump is something I actually did try to replicate in my own career. Because I was... Everybody told me I couldn't bump, apparently. Well, they're all dead. See, that's the thing with AEW, though. What is this podcast's true opinion of AEW? It's always
is it in the woods?
2 steps forward, 10 steps back.
That's right. How did I forget my saying?
And I mean, of course, when something goes good for AEW, there's something that has to cancel it out. It's like natural law at this point.
You're absolutely right about that. Like you said, obviously Jack Perry and the Bucks are villains at this point. I do wonder what the payoff of this is. Where is this going? I'm assuming it's going to be blood and guts. But like, who is for Tony Khan? Who's going to be his protectors? Obviously, Eddie Kingston is going to be one of them.
Clearly, Tony Khan is going to be in the match.
Oh God, no!
No, he's gonna be that guy. He's gonna be that guy who does one thing in the entire match, and he's gonna say he carried the match. And then the next week, or the next show, Tony clearly turns heel and joins them.
Obviously, they're heading in the direction of the Young Bucks is running AEW.
Well,
but
I think the natural direction would be for Tony to get a team of former WWE superstars. Why not? Why not go full on with a caricature of how the wrestling world sees you? Why not play into it?
I got it. Next week the Young Bucks come out and they say, now that Tony Khan isn't in charge, we had to take directive order, and we sold AEW. And then, here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Shane
And then-
McMahon comes out.
And then all of a sudden, it switches to no chance. And Vince just smacks him. He twirls his friggin' piece of shit mustache and goes, "That's for WCW, fucker."
He comes out with the new kittens he adopted, and he hands one of the cats to Tony Khan. That's the only pussy you're getting.
I was gonna say he throws him into the crowd.
What? That's endangering the crowd.
Kitten grenade! And then all of a sudden they're doing Tony Khan drivers on the kittens.
Don't even joke about that. We do not need PETA on our ass.
Do you, PETA, people eating tasty animals?
Will you stop it?
Why? If God didn't want us to eat animals, he wouldn't have made them so delicious.
I'll say this. I'm somewhat morbidly curious to see where they go with this. Tony Khan's the first face owner of a company to get attacked in this manner.
He's the first friggin' because he doesn't have the good sense to stay off camera.
And if going back to what you said about Tony being in the match, I wouldn't give a shit about seeing Tony Khan in a match, but I'd be interested to see Chad Khan in a match. He looked like legit pissed. Maybe because he had to be there.
Apparently he was. And wait, you call his father Chad?
Isn't it Chad?
No, it's God, it's like it's is it Hassim?
Chad Khan.
Shahid.
So it's Shad.
Please, we don't need Al Qaeda or Mujahideen on our ass, please.
So it's Shad Khan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why they.
Well,
I don't know why they call him friggin' Shad.
From now on, Shad is now Chad, and Tony is Mark.
What up, bro? It's me, Chad Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chad Khan, and I am here to kick it 360. I am sorry. You know what? No, I don't apologize for that. I don't believe in DEI inclusion in entertainment.
And if you didn't think that the circus was ended on Wednesday, then you clearly didn't see Thursday, which was the legitimate NFL draft. Maybe people know, maybe people don't know, but Tony Khan is owns the
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. And to everybody's delight, he came in a fucking neck brace. And he came in the neck brace. He wasn't necessarily selling. He was turning his head all over the place. It was mentioned multiple times that he got attacked the night before by the Young Bucks, etc., etc.
He was actually cutting a promo on the NFL Network. And God, again, this is why Tony really should either have his lips fused together or have his vocal cords and tongue taken out. The man referred to what he took as a spike pile driver.
It's a Meltzer driver.
Yes, but if you're caught a pike driver, apparently, since the person who wrote this apparently can't spell.
He wrote what he heard.
I mean, spike tombstone pile driver. It's one of the deadliest moves in pro wrestling. It's been banned in a lot of states. It's illegal in the state of Tennessee. Bullshit! What fucking law on Tennessee's books? Well, you know what? It was probably signed by Kane.
Because of
Nyla Rose.
I was gonna say Jerry the King Lawler, but that sounds better.
Yeah, pretty much. Jerry Lawler is on. He's got an IV with 2 needles. One is regular IV fluids. The other is a constant liquid compound of Viagra and Cialis. But never mind, we're getting off the point here. For them to do that to me, and for the millions of people around the world that had a great audience Wednesday night on TBS, it scared me and scared my family. And I just feel really lucky that I'm here at the NFL draft. Cheap pop. Hold for cheap pop. Go. And with the Jaguars, and be able to still be working with the Jaguars and AEW right now. Like, you really feel lucky to be working. You own the fucking promotion! God! I mean, the man is literally trying to suck his own dick at this point. He is trying to blow himself.
Well, that's why you Steve Meltzer, right?
Yeah, and that, you know what? That's why he's trying so hard. It's the last thing people told him he can't do. It's like, if I have to break my neck, my back, my pussy, and my track. My pussy scented candle, that is. Now available on AEWshop.com. Don't be a fan. Be timeless. Oh, God. Timeless Tony Khan. Oh God, I just had a brilliant idea.
No. Just no.
No, wait. Tony Khan, if you were listening, you can have this one for free. After taking the Meltzer driver, or TK driver, you now have amnesia. And now he doesn't know who the fuck he is.
I will say it was incredibly entertaining to see Shad Khan in back of Tony with his neck brace. And you could honestly tell he's thinking, what the fuck is my son doing right now?
Like, and, you know, the speech bubbles that popped off, over his father's head popped up, I miss cocaine, and over Tony's head, I need to do more cocaine.
And a lot of memes came out of this. I don't know if you saw the one where they're holding Tony Khan and Okada is in front of him, and it just looks
like he's sucking Okada off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I felt too, and it was very awkward.
It was, and when like watching the footage, it kind of looked like that was the direction that they were gonna go, but they didn't. Thank God. And it being football and whatnot, Pat McAfee was there with a panel, and he commented on Tony Khan. He said, Tony Khan's here. He took a Meltzer driver last night. I don't think he mentioned AEW. He said he just took a Meltzer driver. But he's still here. And that mustache on Shad is always going to be iconic. The other guy on his panel, who I believe has nothing to do with pro wrestling, then added, he's wearing that neck brace. You could sell a little bit, Tony, and pretend like your neck actually hurts. You're moving it all over the place, like you move your whole body.
I may not say this a lot, but God bless Pat McAfee. Way to go, Pat.
Pat didn't say that. Somebody on his panel did.
Well, maybe Tony thought it was a medical test panel, and they were testing a new type of cocaine.
It's great that we could all come together from different ethnic backgrounds, wrestling and football, and we could all make fun of Tony Khan. This isn't just a wrestling meme now.
I mean, he makes it so easy. Too easy.
I mean, his comments about WWE.
Oh my God!
We're the underdogs. We're the Pepsi, and they're the Harvey Weinstein.
Hold on, I've got it. I've got the actual quote in front of me. Oh God! All right. You might want to keep an extra pair of shorts on hand because you're likely going to piss yourself laughing. On AEW being up against an evil juggernaut in WWE. You know who I am. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. AEW, we've been doing this for 5 years, so clearly we know what we're doing. We're the most successful sports startup since the AFL. What the fuck is the AFL?
I have no idea.
Does he probably meant CFL?
That's out of my jurisdiction.
Pre-merger, there has not been a challenger brand who has gained so much market share as AEW in many, many years. Oh my God. It's like saying, well, you know what? There's A and there's B. And A had the complete share of the alphabet until B came along. We are like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. We are up against an evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW is like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. Naturally, the antithesis to this would be WWE is like the Coca-Cola of pro wrestling. Or even any other soft drink. But no, because apparently people are bottling Harvey Weinstein right now because Tony Khan thinks, and I quote, we're the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE is like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling, and I'm really proud of what we do down here. Well, Tony, I'm pretty sure Harvey was proud of what he did down on the floor of his office because the fucker couldn't get back up. Like Pepsi and Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, absolutely two equally equivocal things that absolutely could be, compared on the same exact scale. I mean, Pepsi, it's good tasting, and it's fizzy, and Harvey Weinstein is a rapist. God,
Hold on. Let me try to maybe play devil's advocate for Tony for just 1 minute. Maybe he didn't want to associate WWE with Coke because Tony loves Coke.
Ow! Bravo for that one. Dad joke of the night.
Thank you.
I'm surprised he. Surprised he didn't say Sprite. Or water.
I mean, yeah,
Yes.
bottled water. Yeah, that's over. Thank you, Tony Khan, for giving us material this fine Saturday morning. The wrestling gods have definitely smiled on us.
We look forward to next week's never-ending clusterfuck of clusterfuckery.
Speaking of
Wait. Clusterfuck Pro Wrestling.
There you go. Actually, there's a clusterfuck battle royal, so
doesn't count.
Fair enough. Speaking of clusterfucks, the WWE draft was yesterday and this Monday. We're definitely going to be talking about all of the drafts, all the shakeups, next week on the show, because then we have a better understanding of who was drafted, how, when, what, where, all the details. Until then, I will say that it's fucking stupid that they made that big what to do about signing Braun Breaker to SmackDown just for him to go to Monday Night Raw. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
And Valhalla will be off TV again with another 9-month injury.
Oh, congratulations to her. Alright, and now a quick word from our sponsors.
So, Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase.
And we are wrestling with AEW Dynasty.
Please no.
It was last Saturday.
I'm trying to forget.
It took place in St. Louis, Missouri, at the Chaffee Fetzes Arena. Attendance was 6,287.
Sleeping their way to the middle.
And, all of the key players were at Dynasty. You got Elizabeth Gillies, Grant Show, Pamela Martin, Adam Harbour, you may know as -1, he grew up. Daniela Alonso? Yeah. All of the cast of Dynasty was there. We're going to be setting up AEW Friday Night Lights coming next month.
God, you're referring to the updated cast. My God, I could go all about the original cast of Dynasty, except I don't want to.
Yeah, like all it took was like a quick Google search, and Elizabeth Gillies, loved her on iCarly. Or was it the other one?
She was
Victorious.
She was actually she was Stabler's wife on Law and Order.
Yeah, I don't watch Law and Order.
Special Victims Underwear. Coincidentally,
did she kill somebody?
Harvey Weinstein, she was actually in the first episode, but Harvey Weinstein is the basis for every episode.
Did somebody get killed with a pussy candle?
No, but that would be the perfect crime.
Now, if anybody just started watching us like right now, then people are wondering, what the fuck are we talking about?
I mean, you beat them with the candle, and then you just light the candle.
Definitely go back to watch our news portion of the show to understand what we're saying. Alright, if I'm being honest, I didn't go into this show with a lot of expectations. God knows why
I didn't go into it with any.
Yeah. That being said, I didn't necessarily think it was that bad. We'll get into what I thought was bad, but I thought that this was one of AEW's most logical paid previews that they've done possibly ever. Again, just my opinion. I actually enjoyed some of the content that was on this show. But what say you, Scooter?
I avoided this like the clap, unlike Harvey Weinstein. I didn't even realize Okada was facing Pac.
We talked about it last week.
I didn't realize we were talking about Pac. I mean, this is a egregious misuse of Adam Copeland. It's like you don't want to be being perceived as using your influence to get to the top, as long as people don't think you're using your influence to get to the middle. The dream match, not a dream for me. It was nap-inducing. The idea of doing a dream match really takes much longer time of a build.
Right. I can't necessarily speak to their build because I don't watch AEW every week. I barely watch it at all.
again, FTR riding that, roller coaster to nowhere.
Yeah.
And the fact that we should be talking more about the fact that there is a black AEW World Champion for the first time. We should really be talking more about that. But
they swerved us. They swerved
no,
us.
I mean, no, they drove right into us and right into our friggin' nuts, because literally AEW thinks that people with a significant weight advantage against people with a much smaller, weight handicap can only go one way, and that's tons of finishers first. And then 5 minutes in, let's take it home. This could have been so right. It just didn't. I will say this again. It didn't really go wrong, but it absolutely did not go right.
Well, let's get into it. We got Kazuchika Okada defending the Continental Breakfast Championship against Pickpack. He won in 21 minutes and 55 seconds. Okada, that is. Out of anything that they could have picked to be the opener, I thought this was arguably the best route they could have gone. They had like a legit New Japan match, and I honestly dug it. I thought it was a good competitive match. There wasn't necessarily a lot of flippy shit or, instant kickouts or, it wasn't a typical or normal AEW match. It was, it was more based in reality, if I'm being honest. And I appreciated that because it's not something I see from AEW all that often. Scooter?
I was taking a nap. When I woke up, I had that Sasha Banks movie on.
I mean, you're taking a lot of naps. Should I be concerned?
No, naps and me go together like Pepsi and Harvey Weinstein.
We need to stop that now.
Oh, I'm never letting that go.
I give the match, you know what? Fuck it, 4 stars.
I'll give it 4 just because.
Because you literally have nothing to go on, huh?
Yep.
Go on. The next match, we have Edge, Edge, Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black, that still doesn't have any black members. Milwaukee Black, Brody Burger King, and Don't Call Me Buddy Pal Matthews. The match ended with the House of Black, Malachi taking the W on Edge in 17 minutes and 45 seconds. Somewhat clusterfuckery. You don't expect to have a 6-man in AEW unless, this is going to happen. But the ending, hear me out, the ending actually made sense, and it actually set something up. Malachi got the pin on Edge. He hit him with the miss, so obviously, he's going to get a TNT Championship match. Maybe 4 years too late, he sort of beat Cody for that belt, but, beggars can't be choosers. And I could definitely make the argument that this match should have been on Dynamite, and the Edge versus Malachi should have been, on paid preview. But again, beggars can't necessarily be choosers at this point. What say you, Scooter? Or was you asleep for this match as well?
No, I saw this. This was a true mishmash of, I really feel like they threw darts at a board to see who would team with Cope. And don't worry, New Japan will come up with the House of Black People soon. Yeah, this was, for a company that does way more trios matches than it really should, which, by the way, once again, AEW and ROH titles have been merged with the trio titles. Nobody cares.
Yep.
Yeah, they were bound to pull a good one out of the hat eventually. That didn't involve
a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while.
Yeah, that didn't come from the Young Bucks pants. Yeah, this was a to me 4-star classic, maybe even 4.5.
4.5 stars?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have taken it that far. I'd give it 3 stars. It was a 2.5 star, but because I liked the ending and it made sense, 3 stars. Alright, we got Willow Nightingale defeating Julia Hart in a House Rules match for that bitch championship. Sky Blue
wait, the TBC title?
That bitch show, I should say.
It's the bitch show.
Chris Statlander and Sky Blue were banned from ringside, which is disappointing because, Sky Blue,
that ass.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kaliko. That ass.
It was a match on the card. I kind of feel bad for Julia. Happy for Willow, but also knowing that Willow is going to be losing this title very, very soon. I hate the fact that Mercedes just came out in whatever the hell that dress was, did her little dance, took a picture, and literally fucking left like nothing.
Again, I'm gonna go back to this phrase. She doesn't mind if people think she's sleeping her way to the top, just as long as they don't think she's sleeping her way to the middle. And technically, she's continuing to sleep her way to the middle by going for the mid-card title. This is God. Yeah. A bloated roster, blah, blah, blah. Too many people, not enough. No, because then they'll come up with something fucking stupid. Like matches with 3-minute time limits. As if they were, oh my god, a cocaine rules match. There's no bumps involved. It's literally whoever can snort the most cocaine. But it has to be done off a female's backside.
Please stop it.
And then that female superstar will break wind blowing all the cocaine. And then Tony will get so pissed that you wasted all that cocaine. What were we talking about again? Will Nightingale, congrats. Came out of the NYWC. We are all so proud that one of Long Island's own is back in
Are you saying Long Island or Love Island?
I'm clearly saying Love Island.
I don't know. It sounded like you were saying Love Island. I don't remember seeing
Long Island. Hey, one of Long Island. One of Long Island's own. Getting back to the middle. How
many stars, Scooter?
2.
I'll give it 2.5. Next, we have the Intercontinental International Championship match. Roderick Strong defeated Kyle O'Reilly parts. O'Reilly.
O'Reilly automotive parts.
It was 17 minutes and 20 seconds.
Took place at the pay-per-view we are reviewing right now.
Yeah. I kind of overlooked this match last week. How the fuck was Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly not going to have a banger? It was.
This was, this is one of the classic examples of chicken shit and chicken salad.
They're obviously, two of the best that AEW has to offer. I might not agree as to why they're wrestling. It kind of seems stupid to me. But, when they actually get in the ring and they, beat the crap out of each other, it's going to be good shit. Which it was. O'Reilly, low-key underrated, one of the best technical wrestlers of all time, if I'm being honest. And Roderick, is Roderick. So, this all, really hit, strong. Neck strong. Roderick strong. But what say you, Scooter?
Yeah, this was the match you would think it was, no matter what promotion it was for. It was such a good match built on such little time, and the fact that Kyle O'Reilly still hasn't developed a personality says something. If Kyle O'Reilly can actually manufacture a personality, he might very well have a chance at being the most well-named, the most recognized, entertaining pro wrestler in the world, and he could finally shut Will Ospreay up. 4 stars.
Agreed, 4 stars. Now we have the Fuck This Match rules match for the Fuck This Match Championship. NDA is Jared Joke defeated Hook in 16 minutes and 35 seconds. It was, a weapons match, a crap, all that good shit. Maybe went 6 minutes way too long, but I will. If they do something with this where Hook wrestles Chris Jericho on the next fucking paid preview and gets his belt back, then I would, in hindsight, call this match a success. Because Jericho, that last shot with the baseball bat was actually pretty nasty. And, having, his dad come in and check on him, which we've never seen before in, a Hook match, it can lead to, good shit down the line. But if this was just Chris Jericho getting a title to, satisfy his ego, and, bury Hook, then this was not good. I suppose hindsight will reveal whether or not this was a success or not. Scooter?
Yeah, I don't know why Jericho even had to be put in a team with Hook. You knew that as soon as they were put together, they were going to eventually have a match that didn't need to happen. Because, like it or not, Hook is the closest thing AEW has, aside from one or two other teams, to go after the young demographic. And the fact that, Hook was basically holding the Taz Family Championship, which I call the Ass to Mouth Championship, the ATM. But you never go ass to mouth. Yes.
We've had way too many acronyms in this fucking episode.
Cool. Acronym Mania's Runnin' Wild. That's the title for the.
Unfortunately,
the upload.
Yes, it's going to be.
Because when something like this happens, and even though you know that there are times when Jericho is willing to do the job.
When has he done the job in AEW?
Action Andretti.
Fuck that shit.
I mean, hey, that was the 1, 2, 3.
The only reason he lost to Action Andretti was because people literally said he did not do jobs. So he did a job to say, I did a job. But what has Action Andretti done?
That's why I said occasionally.
And
respect the adverb. But in these situations, you know that it's Chris Jericho feeding his ego.
Oh yeah.
Why he wanted the FTW title when it's really not a legal championship to begin with. That's the title's gimmick. It's the only remaining title in pro wrestling with a gimmick.
Right.
A gimmick. Its gimmick is that it has no gimmick.
What about the Internet Championship?
There's an AEW Internet Championship?
No, Zack Ryder's Internet Championship.
Doesn't count, I'm afraid. Chris Jericho is doing this just so he can have the title.
Oh yeah.
Feel like he's important and trying to kill the push of someone who could potentially carry AEW, because if they're really going to book him more like his father, Taz never lost in ECW until Bam Bam Bigelow. And he never lost again after that.
Yeah, I would see Hook staying his whole career in EW, if I'm being honest. I think his father's smart enough to tell the kid, when your contract comes up, get the fuck out, go to NXT.
Bubba Ray and Devon were most likely looking out for him, and they probably have a space reserved for him already. That being said, I will be challenging Chris Jericho for the ATM Championship. And if I win, he will pay my overdraft fees. If not, well, I will trap him in a room with Harvey Weinstein. And some Pepsi.
How many stars you get?
1.5.
I'll give it 2 stars if this actually goes somewhere and Hook gets some comeuppance from it, an actual storyline. Then I will give it 3. But, that 3 has an asterisk at it, on it right now.
TBA.
I said no more acronyms.
No, don't name me!
When did you become Mr. Bill?
No!
We got the AEW Women's Championship match. Timeless Tony Storm with Gunther and Mariah Carey. She defeated Thunder Rosa by pinfall in 15 minutes and 10 seconds. Honestly, I have no idea what was the issue between these two girls, but it was pretty hot, and it... No, not that kind of hot, but I mean, the crowd was hot for it. And, Thunder Rosa knows how to bring the drama and the flames to a pro wrestling match. And, it was 15 minutes, and it felt all 15 minutes. Like, it was non-stop the whole way. Honestly, my opinion, good shit between these two. Maybe a little clusterfuckery at the end. Obviously Tony hasn't won a match, without outside interference, but, the ending did seem a little flat, if I'm being honest. And just touching on, Thunder Rosa, bringing the fire in a match. People get pops when they come out in face paint. She got a pop for having no face paint on. Like, wow. Scooter?
And yet she didn't win.
Nope.
It's not flat. That ass of Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa. Oh, I'm sorry, Coleco. This is how you do a 4-star match with all of the time and no break spots. That being said, we knew Thunder Rosa wasn't going to take it off her. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was about Thunder Rosa not initially losing it to Tony. They may have done that already. I don't know. I can't remember half this shit.
Nobody remembers.
Still, it was. If you ask me, this match was better than most of the men's matches. I'll give it 4 stars.
I'll give it 4 stars too. Now, at this point in the show, I'm actually enjoying it. I'm feeling a little bit of the fatigue, and if they would have kind of gone from this match to Swerve and Samoa Joe, I would have been pretty content with that. I would have sat here and told you, well, it went maybe a little bit longer than I would have liked, but everything fit and meshed well. But they had to have 2 fucking more matches, dream matches if I'm being honest, after this one. And the next one was Will Ospreay versus Don't Call Me Bryan Danielson. I know a lot of people really raved about this match. Oh, it's the greatest match of all time, yada yada. I didn't feel like it was that. I felt it was a lot of gaga, a lot of false finishes. It was a lot of the bullshit that we know AEW for being. That internet blow your load match. Oh, that's a good way to call it now.
No more acronyms!
It's the match you say each knee, son, for Anoki. I didn't like it. I was barely watching it at this point. Kind of just on the corner of my eye. I kind of knew what they were gonna do before they did it. It was melodramatic. It was anticlimactic. It was pretty fake and phony, if I'm being completely honest. The crowd loved it, obviously, but I just didn't. Your thoughts, Scooter?
I felt exactly the same way. This wasn't a dream match. This was only a dream match if you were a really consistent New Japan watcher.
Or you have really sick dreams.
Yeah. In no promotion. You know what? This might have been a dream match anywhere else except AEW. And New Japan. For Will Ospreay to have a dream match, the opponent needs to be the dream. Not Dusty. Hell, Will Ospreay and Sabu is more of a dream match to me. Will Ospreay and Rob Van Dam is more of a dream match to me.
Will Ospreay in any type of match, for me personally, is not a dream match. It's a match I just don't want to watch.
Yeah, you know what? That puts it perfectly. That being said, I want some of Dave Meltzer's cocaine for how he rated this.
How many stars did he give it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5.
6.5. I'm surprised he didn't give it 8 or 9.
I
You know what? I'm not going to give it a rating.
You know what?
Um,
That is perfectly understandable. I won't give it a rating either. If you like this type of match, good on you, but it's just not our cup of tea.
and it happens. It's been happening way too often, and without a substantial build. If there are dream matches, they need to be announced way in advance. That's what makes them, the build exciting, and they really do have to have a name that you can legit sell as a dream match.
Now we have the middle-aged Bucks, Mike and Nick. Um, they took on Fuck the Revival, Dax and Cash, in a ladder match to determine the new tag team champions. Um, it's no surprise that FTR lost this match. They're kind of murdering at this point. And it's 100% no surprise that Jack Perry came out and cost them the match. I don't know if you heard, but I didn't feel like there was a big pop for Jack Perry. I think everybody kind of saw it coming, no?
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, you know what? I can't defend it.
You know, it's a sad situation when these guys are trying their damnedest to have, the greatest ladder match of all time.
Until the next one.
And the crowd is chanting to them, please be safe.
God, I forgot that.
Like that's not exactly the chant you want.
I mean, hell, in the mid-90s, it was, please don't die. Please don't die.
Yeah. This is so self-indulgent. Like, they're trying their damnness to stay relevant at this point, the Young Bucks
I mean...
are. Like, this didn't need to be the Young Bucks anymore. They could have just, gone into the good night at this point, and people would have respected them for it. They're just kind of making asses of themselves, trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, pretty soon, the crowd is going to come up with, stuff to try and actually get them out of the ring and leave. Like, you left your stove on. Your front door's open. Your house is on fire. Your child's been kidnapped. We demand money.
The whole thing with Tony Khan getting attacked, that could have been so much more impactful if it went to somebody that could actually have benefited from attacking Tony Khan, rather than two desperate middle-aged men that are trying to stay relevant. Like, nobody wants to see the Young Bucks anymore. They're not an attraction. And they're putting, instead of stepping aside or stepping away, they're putting themselves at the forefront, literally putting themselves down our throat.
You know what? Should have, Luchasaurus should have made the save.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hell, an entire face turn for Nick Wayne Luchasaurus and Christian.
Okay, that would have been something.
And then maybe we could actually work on getting to the Young Bucks versus Edge and Christian.
Is that a dream match at this point?
I think it's a promo video for ARP.
Stop it with the acronyms!
The advance. Oh, forget it.
Thank God.
For the old people acronym.
Oh, the old people. The only match I wanted to see Edge and Christian wrestle again was a potential Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy reunion. You know, just the Hardys versus Edge and Christian one more time.
Yeah,
They fucking had it in their palms, and they didn't do it. That being said, no heat. This wasn't a good ladder match. It didn't do anything new, unique, or interesting in that genre of wrestling. 1 star.
I'll be nice. 2 stars.
Alright, and that brings us to the main event, the last match. Swerve Strickland defeated Samoa Joe to become the new AEW World Champion in 18 minutes. It was a good match, but unfortunately, at this point, I'm tired as fuck. I don't want to be watching this show anymore. It definitely takes away from Swerve's moment when I understand why it was on last. It rightfully so should have been on last. But if they would have cut 2 matches, even 1 at this point, it would have been a little bit easier to digest. That's always been AEW's biggest problem. 8-hour pay previews, and I don't have the time or the patience to put into that.
Yeah.
Nothing against the match. It was a decent match, but I was just drained at this point.
You know what? I really I do other things during the matches. I really don't pay attention to. And at around 11:30, I'm like, oh shit! I probably missed the rest of the show. You can imagine how surprised I was when it's 11:30 p.m. and they're at introductions for Swerve and Joe.
Yeah.
You know, pretty soon, what I think they're going for is a match that starts at 11 and ends after midnight.
Wasn't that
At least in
MJF
one time zone.
Isn't that MJF versus Daniel Bryan?
No, since that went a complete hour. No. Just no.
You're absolutely right. We should be talking about Swerve. Against all odds, he was not the chosen son of the WWE. Unappreciated. They drove him into a clusterfuck tag team with Keith Lee. He manages to somehow get out of that, get himself over. From the ashes of 2 failed factions, gets with Prince Nana against all odds.
Yeah.
And it sends him into the fucking stratosphere.
Yeah.
And if, we talked about Tony Storm, if there was a close second to how over Tony's over, it's probably Swerve. he is the biggest star that they got. And we're not talking about Swerve winning the championship and what a tremendous, accolade that is for him. And I am truly, happy for him that he won the championship because he absolutely deserves it. We're talking about, as everybody heard, AEW being cheesy, Tony Storm and pussy scented candles, and Tony Khan getting beat up. Like, Swerve, that this should be all a vocal point on Swerve winning the champion. And it's like he took a complete back seat, not even the back seat, the way, way back, to everything else that was going on.
And you know what the worst part of this was? He opened Dynamite with a title defense.
He wrestled?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a fucking shame.
That being said, this was finisher right out of the gate again. And it was... I don't know why they feel the need to do this all the time now. Muscle Buster, boom, right out the gate. Match over? Can we go home? No, apparently. Okay, great. You've just killed one of your finishers, which is supposed to be one of the most powerful moves in wrestling. And then again, it's like a constant reminder, hey, remember, Joe is much bigger than Swerve. Like, at no point did they ever equate that Swerve had as an equal a chance to win more than Samoa Joe did.
Well, I knew immediately that Swerve was winning the match when he came out in that sick Wakanda Forever gear.
Yes, that was great, and you knew that Prince Nana was put with him, not expecting Prince Nana to get over, because I've known Nana for years. Nana used to be bigger than Samoa Joe. And he did actually used to be quite an impressive in-ring performer. Now that he's much more svelte, he is, Nana is definitely, finding his form. But a company that is practically a meme generator gets a superstar over by a manager leaning heavily into the meme. Yeah, this is why I think AEW really needs to pay more attention to what the critics are saying and really be more tongue-in-cheek about themselves and play into that. But know their limits. Again, this Swerve hitting the house call, or so many times, there's a word for that. It's insanity. And eventually, when that happens, a match becomes pure insanity, and not in a good clusterfuckery type of way. the crowd was like, all right, come on, Swerve. Just take it home so we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Like, this should have been so much more of a celebratory moment. And it's like AEW is really trying to say, look at us. Even though we're putting focus on the titles aren't the real showstopper of our promotion. We actually care about which performers can go last and blah blah blah. They're tryhards, but they're tryhards in all the wrong ways. Oh man, as much as I loved seeing Swerve win, and I was never that big a fan of Swerve, but watching him in his matches with Hangman won me over. It's what won everyone over. And as much as I loved seeing Swerve win, I'm wondering if it would have been better if he won it at the next pay-per-view.
Double or
And
nothing.
that's a terrible thing to think,
How
especially when you know they deserve it.
How is they going to delay it any longer than they already did?
They're AEW.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, oh God, another acronym.
What's the acronym we're talking about? So, this should have been a 4-star match. This should have been, a major event, and it just kind of fell to the wayside, unfortunately. I'll still give it 3.5 stars. It should have been a 4.5, if I'm being honest.
I kind of wanted to give this 630 stars. But I'll be nice and say 3.25.
Alright. The show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs in the middle, leaning towards the asshole.
I give it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up. I enjoy.
Whatever.
I enjoyed everything up until Will Ospreay and Daniel Bryan, and everything after that, my enthusiasm just kind of deflated to the point where I wanted this shit to end. And if Tony and Dundo finished with the last match, this would have been a complete thumbs up. But yeah, it wasn't. So here we are. Alright. That will conclude our coverage of AEW Dynasty, and join us. That will conclude this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday. Join us this Monday as we interview Celine Gray. This Tuesday as we interview Sexy Eddie. And this Wednesday as we interview Psycho Boy Fado. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Xthread and Instagram, and follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Scooter?
find me on X at Scooter Dust, and watch me unveil my brand new places I've took a dump map. You'll be surprised at the cluster in New York, and I wasn't eating corn. And of course, my profile picture giveaway still up for grabs. No one's been able to identify what my profile picture on X is. Remember, if you can identify it, you get a free year of Peacock ad free.
Has anybody even guessed?
No. And that's the way, I like it.
For Coleco Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.